Today is Practical Magic Day. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on Gillian's makeup from Practical Magic. I did a reel on this a couple years ago, but I want to go in depth in it now that I have a YouTube channel. So Practical Magic is obviously so iconic. It is a comfort movie for me. I recently showed it to a friend and she's like, I can't stop thinking about it. And it has this awesome staying power. But all that aside, I'm sure you're here if you love Practical Magic. I'm gonna go in depth with the look, including the skin and everything. I think the makeup, when I try and take a look at it, it's very 90s. You have the cool tone eye, but it's not too overdone. It's still, you can still wear it easily these days. It has some modernness to it, if that makes sense. But I'll show you how I rock it for my own personal face and all that, and give you some tips and tricks. I'm not someone who gravitates towards cool tones too often, or like silver eyeshadow, but when I do, I'm like, I could do this more often, and it's not like really, really silver, it's just like subtly gray and a little bit of shimmer. So anyway, starting with the complexion, it's very natural like most movie makeup is. The skin just looks like skin. So something I do a lot lately, but especially for a look like this with that natural skin, is go in first with concealer, because the goal of this is to hide your main areas of like redness or dark circles, and then go in with foundation lightly on top to even it all out, so that you're not caking too much foundation on, so that it's not settling into fine lines and all that. So for me, this is the NARS Radiant Creamy, by the way. For me, definitely under the eyes, around the nose, and just like any complexion issues. I think I'm about to get my period, yay! So nice and breaking out, how fun. Blah. Now that I recut my bangs recently, after rewatching Practical Magic, I'm like, always like bangs, no bangs, bangs, no bangs. And then I watch Practical Magic, I'm like, bangs. But anyway, at least I can hide this all with the bangs. So I like to go in with a brush, just buff it in. It doesn't matter if you perfectly cover it. The idea here is just to start on that coverage with the blemishes. And with sort of what's left on my brush, I do like to start neutralizing the whole eye area. Now you could definitely easily skip this step if you're not somebody who has a lot of redness or blemishes. I think I started this concealer first technique in the summer when I didn't want to be like too cakey for working outside, and I've kind of stuck with it almost religiously. So now I'm going to go in with a foundation. This is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin. This is one of my favorite foundations, but I don't necessarily recommend it because it is so expensive. And for why, I don't know. So anyway, the finish you're looking for is definitely sort of satin, nothing too thick and matte, and nothing too dewy, because 90s is not about the dew. And I think we are making a move away from like dewy skin as a trend, but you do you. But for this look, I recommend more soft satin, a little bit matte. So I like to just like bounce it on top. This movie came out in 1998, I believe, so I was like 5, but I didn't see it until I was like, I think like 10 or something, when it would come on the W Network, which is a Canadian women's network. So if that's where you first saw Practical Magic, leave a comment down below. And I'm turning 30 at the end of this month, and my plan is to do a Practical Magic themed birthday. So margaritas, and we're gonna encourage everybody to wear long skirts, wear their hair out. I should definitely decorate my whole table with like candles and botanicals. That kitchen is my dream kitchen. I'm going in with a second layer because I am breaking out right now. And I trust that this foundation almost never looks like overdone. There's definitely no bronzer in her look. So I'm just gonna go in with a soft contour. This is the contour wand from Anastasia, Beverly Hills, Anastasia. Just going right in on the brush. And this is not Kardashian contour. This is just bringing the features out a little bit more after all the foundation. So just kind of under the cheekbone. Not really bringing it in too far into the face. And then here, just to cover my bases of trying to get a jawline. I definitely do not have Nicole Kidman's jawline. Real question, why do so many celebrities have such crisp jaws and the rest of us folks are like, not? It's almost like a prerequisite to be an actor. I'm gonna take these out now before they start to dent too much. There, we're done. Okay, for brows, definitely I think some 90s brows going on. So many people had those thinner brows in the 90s. But then a lot of people had like the Brooke Shields brow. Anyway, I'm just gonna fill them in naturally. Nothing too modern and Insta-worthy. Instagram brows are such a thing and they take so much time. I've never been able to achieve it personally. So I'm just going in with a brow powder, my favorite brow shade to use from the Tarte Clay Play palette. And I'm tinting them more red than they are. But of course, just tint your brows a color that makes sense for your hair. I always like to use a brow gel to keep them in place. A clear brow gel. For blush, I don't notice anything that stands out to me about her blush. Doesn't seem to be like, you know, more orange or sun-kissed or anything like that. In general, I find like her complexion's quite neutral. So I'll just use like the most basic standard pink blush I have, which is from Bare Minerals, Call My Blush. It's a powder blush. And I think sticking with a powder blush will suit this because again, 90s, more matte. And nothing, again, nothing like standing out about it. We're not doing a 2021 like lifted blush moment. We're not doing a me moment and putting it so deep all over the face like I like to do it. Just bringing some color back in. This is me holding back. I just want to put so much on. No. Now if at the end I want to add more, maybe I will, but for now let's keep it like that. For the eyes, it's really quite simple. To start, I'm just going to go into like a brighter shade, like from the Hindash, the white one here, just to set any concealer or anything. Something that's similar to your skin tone. Okay, in this like close-up, you can really see it almost looks like a little bit loose and not super structured. It looks like somebody who threw on their makeup in kind of 5 minutes. So I'm gonna try my best to keep it in that vein. I'm gonna try my best. Going in with a soft gray called Transition for the transition. This is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I'm gonna go in with that to start getting those gray tones into the crease. If your complexion is deeper, you'd probably want to consider a shade deeper than this. But then again, going a bit lighter will feel very 90s. So just with a fluffy brush, just starting to get a little bit of shadow onto the lid. And I'm going to deepen it up with a bit more of a darker gray. This is called Crease right here. I'm not bringing this out quite as far as the first shade, just sort of in this zone. And you really, really don't need to go too dark with it. Like, I find she's really just getting deepness in the look from like a really tight black waterline thing. It's like, this isn't like a really smoky eye by any means. I definitely see a shimmer in some shots. So I'm going to go in with inner corner, a soft silver, nothing too glittery, more like a satin shimmer. And put it in mostly the center of the lid. And you can use a clean finger to smudge it out a little bit. Now I definitely see a sort of classic black liner, like a cream liner going on, like it looks like she's done it very close to the top lash line, even a bit in the waterline. That's a very sort of quick 90s, I think an everyday lady would have done that in the 90s. I'm going to modernize it a little bit in that I'm going to use powder. And I'm going to use this shade Lash Line from this palette. But what I like about this is it's not that really harsh purist black. It's a little bit softer. So I have this very, very tiny brush. It's not even an angled brush. It's like a square tip. It's pretty cool. Working it into the upper lash line. I feel like her liner goes fairly into her eye, but I've mentioned this before and I'll say it probably many times, but I don't like to bring liner fully in because it brings my eyes too close together. So you do what feels right for you. Again, to keep it a little bit more open for my personal face, I'm just gonna line it here rather than throwing a black liner into the waterline and closing the eye off. Right where the lashes start growing. And then maybe smudge it out just a little bit with one of the gray shades. So I feel like a lot of the time she looks a little bit like she slept in her makeup even. So it's got that loose energy to it. Party girl energy. My goal in life is to become one of the ants in Practical Magic because they are so cool. I want to be that. I don't think I want to be a mother, but I want to be an ant. This is kind of creating that look when you've worn mascara for a night out and then you did wash your face, but you didn't quite get all that mascara and like eyeliner. It's like, it is totally like you slept in it. Now this is just a personal taste for my makeup. You don't need to do this, just I like to brighten this back up with the first shade I used. Lashes, just mascara. I'm gonna curl them. I don't think you necessarily have to, but something I love about this movie is it's sort of in the title, Practical Magic, but there's one particular speech given by Sally to the detective about what magic is. And at one point she's talking about the star he has to show his like police badge. And she's saying how it has power because he gives it power. It's not like the actual star stops criminals in their tracks, but it does. It's not the actual thing that does it, but it's like a symbol and it has power. And to me that just like perfectly sums up what magic is to me. It's like finding power through things and just finding personal power, you know? My mom and I have a makeup channel, as many of you know. We did an episode on Practical Magic. We didn't do the makeup looks, but I think we had margaritas and we talked about it, so definitely check that out. I'll link it down below. Lower lashes, I don't think they're standing out too much, but I always like to put a little bit. Again, just like, if you're doing this look for any reason, just remind yourself, Gillian, party girl. It doesn't have to be perfect. I definitely could have done this a little faster if I wanted to. Just a little bit of gray eyeshadow, a little bit of silver shimmer. For lips, I think she's got a couple different lips going on. In a lot of shots, she has like a bit of a peachy pink gloss going on. This might be a little bit orange, but like this very sheared out kind of, like that, a little bit. But then in some promotional shots, and then I'm pretty sure in some other shots, it's looking a little bit more like a muted red, like this. And I'm gonna go for the muted red because I find it a little bit more 90s, a little bit more witchy to go for anything like a little bit on the deeper side. And I find it suits the look a little more, even though in some shots she had like a peachy pink gloss. Do what feels best for you. I think you can do either. I'm gonna do a very, very soft lip line with Makeup Forever Endless Cacao, which is a cool tone, very 90s lip line. But I'm not seeing like an obvious lip line by any means. This is just to sketch out the lip a little bit. She's definitely not wearing like one of those 90s MAC lips that's super lined. I just always like to do a soft line, often with Endless Cacao, to like contain my lipstick. And this muted red is from Merit. It's the shade L'Avenue. It's a little bit sheer and balmy. Here we have it. This is my interpretation of Gillian's makeup in Practical Magic. And like any makeup look, you can tailor it to your own face in a way that makes you feel good. I think there's a tendency sometimes if you're like recreating a makeup look that you have to do exactly like how it was on like the actor or the model or whatever, but there's always some tips and tricks you can integrate to make it you and make you feel confident in it, because that's the main thing, right? You want to channel that energy, but you also want to feel good about it, right? So I am not going heavy into the black liner in the waterline, but you definitely could, and it would definitely work. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this look. Let me know if you're a Gillian, a Sally, or an aunt. I'm a bit more of a Sally, a little bit of Gillian in there, a little bit of aunt. All of them, because I love all those characters so much. Anyway, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay witchy, stay bitchy. Don't forget to throw salt over your left shoulder and plant lavender for luck. I'll see you next time. Bye, witches.